Tonight on AFTERBUZZ TV, we're breaking down Game 3 of NBA playoff games, and we witnessed one of the greatest comebacks in NBA history. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Taking it back to the 80s.
Jimbo in the booth coming through. He said he had something for us.
Quiet, I'm listening to this song.
Okay.
Space Jam soundtrack.
The one white guy in here needs to do the dance. Because we're bringing things down to the NBA playoffs live on AfterBuzzTV.com. The AfterBuzz TV YouTube page, iTunes, SoundCloud. You're liking, subscribing, telling your friends about AfterBuzz TV, and we got some games to talk about tonight.
Yes, we do.
What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Tariff, Twitter @JoshTariff. Full gang here. This is your Thursday night crew during the NBA playoffs. To my left, one of the other Joshes in the room.
Yes,
At JJ the Talented, it's Josh Johnson.
Thank you.
What is up, sir?
Nothing much, man. Ready to talk some b-ball for sure.
I'm ready. Over there, my friend from Thursday Night Football. We're together again at Stiletto Jill. It's Jill Munroe.
Hey, check us out. I'm so excited. AfterBuzz Sports in the building.
That's right. Over on the other side, rocking the bandana better than I certainly can. At Deanjilo TV, Deanjilo Platt.
What's up?
What up, sir?
The Wizards have not played in the past 2 days, but I feel like we should talk about them.
We probably
Oh, we will.
You
We
gotta be
will.
from DC though with that bandana.
I have something for you.
I know
Yeah,
it.
from
Where's the glitter though?
Hold on.
Glitter.
They used to have the glitter from DC on the bandanas, man. You
I don't know
know
what era that is.
We might
DC.
we might touch on the
It
Wizards.
was a thing.
We might touch on the Wizards a little bit later. We might talk about how bad my Orlando Magic are, who aren't even televised, but that's all right. And on the couch, the third, last but not least, Josh.
I am a
At Josh_Rodriguez_. It's Josh Rodriguez.
I am Josh Rodriguez. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_. I'm a Knick fan. Only one game better than your Magic, so we can cry together if you want.
Can we?
Yeah.
At least my team. I mean, well, my team's got front office drama. Well, I guess your team's got a lot of front office drama too.
We have baby mama drama.
We're like,
Baby mama.
we're like best friends right
We
now.
really are.
apparently.
We really are.
Wait,
Same
hey.
name.
Connect.
Wait, my team used to suck. Can I relate with you?
No, you don't suck. You don't suck right now.
No, you guys are like the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. We ain't gonna talk about that. But let's start. We got a lot of games to talk about, but we really just have to kick things off with this Cavs-Pacers game tonight.
Whoa.
How does one team score 74 points in the first half and then only score 40 in the second and manage to lose and give up the largest halftime lead in NBA playoff history? I am, of course, talking about the Pacers. If you're just listening to the show, didn't watch it in the game, didn't see any scores, Pacers blew it. To put it bluntly, they blew it.
You don't think that the Cavs and LeBron won it? Or specifically LeBron?
No, most definitely. I'm deeming Cleveland Cavaliers the official comeback kings. After what I saw last season and what I saw in this playoff game, they are the comeback kings. LeBron James, triple-double, 41 points. Can we give this guy the MVP?
No, we cannot.
can't give him that.
No, we cannot.
MVP?
No, we
I
cannot.
was with him
Best
until
player on the planet.
MVP does
There's
not.
a lot of titles that LeBron
Hey,
James
listen,
can have.
Josh
Possibly
Rodriguez
one of the best
thinks he's
player
in the discussion.
actors.
He absolutely is in the
He's
discussion.
always in the discussion,
Okay,
but
so then
this
why are you so
season,
angry?
because you know better. This season did not belong to LeBron James' regular season. Maybe he'll get the MVP.
Yeah, you got to remember.
Finals.
Got to remember, MVP is over the regular season. He's certainly
Of course.
like Jose. He's always in the conversation, no doubt about that. And we'll get into more MVP stuff later on when we talk about last night's games too. But yes, LeBron tonight. Josh, you brought up the triple-double and how he led the entire fourth quarter. No Kyrie, no Kevin Love, no
Kyrie.
problem.
Yeah.
No. Kyrie had, what was it, 24% shooting.
Yeah.
Terrible.
4 of 17, 13 points. That's... All I see, I'm looking at the stat line. All I literally see is 10, 9, 41. Oh, who was that? Oh, that was LeBron. 41, 13, and 12. That's crazy.
The big three went to the big one. Can we point out that the Cavs' 26-point comeback ties the 2012 Clippers for the greatest comeback in NBA playoff history?
Yeah.
But the Cavs are making it past the second round. That's the only difference.
Can we acknowledge that LeBron did this with like Channing Frye, J.R. Smith?
He made Channing Frye look like an all-star in the fourth quarter tonight.
Come on.
But he's
I think Channing
LeBron
Frye would
James,
have
the
like
best
13
player on the
off the bench.
planet.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of rest this season, so he didn't overexert himself.
Yeah, Channing Frye had 13. Corver had 12. J.R. Smith had 13,
right.
you know, and he was questionable to even play tonight.
Yep.
Deanjilo Williams, only 5 points, but obviously played a lot of minutes in that fourth quarter. And so definitely helped out on the defensive side. Here's my one question. I'm going to ask everyone in this room this question.
Okay.
It's going to sound like a really easy question, but bear with me. Josh Rodriguez.
Yes.
Who's the best player on the Pacers?
On the Pacers, Paul George.
D'Angelo.
Paul George.
Jill.
I kind of have to split. I like Paul George and Lance Stevenson together. They play, the team plays
Okay,
better.
you're
with
okay,
Lance
okay.
Stevenson
Why
on
do
it.
you think
Lance Stevenson is a
Why did I
baller.
think
Hold on,
that?
hold on.
Why did
I
I
think
think that?
You're completely
listen.
ruining my point. Just pick one. Just
I
pick
know.
one.
I
Pick
know.
one.
I know.
Pick one.
You do
Pick
not
one.
think-
It's Paul
Okay,
George.
okay,
it's not
okay,
even close.
Josh.
But there's a but.
Okay, hold
There's
on.
a but.
Josh.
PG-13.
Okay, so why does Lance Stevenson think the best player is Lance Stevenson?
Because he's Lance
That's
Stevenson.
Because he's Lance Stevenson.
But that's what makes him useful. The fact that he's operating.
He was useless in the second half of this game.
in the second half, but in the first half, if you look at Lance Stevenson, especially since he's been back with the Pacers, and you look at his time away from the Pacers, both the Pacers and Lance Stevenson, without each other, had some lulls, had some dips. They seemed to come together. When Lance Stevenson was running the floor in the first half, the offense seemed to be flowing smoother tonight compared to other nights. So his shot, obviously, no, but his ball handling and distribution slightly better than what they have.
Well, no, the ball handling, especially in the first half, was better because they changed their rotation, they changed their lineup. Cavs were not ready for it. They made the adjustments over the half. But the key thing is from the like second half of the third quarter up until like 3 minutes left in the game, I lost count of how many times the Pacers had the ball and never gave it to Paul George.
Yeah.
Because Lance Stevenson took the ball for himself, trying to be the hero, and failed miserably. Stevenson
Zero ball.
I have a question.
single-handedly made the Pacers implode tonight.
I have a question.
Oh no.
It's
I personally
I get what you're saying.
I go with you.
I get what you're saying.
That.
We have people in the chat, by the way.
What's up?
All right, Elvin, a college friend of mine, joined us in the chat. He says, we are all witnesses.
Amen.
Elvin knows what he's talking about. And Elvin can ball. Come
Amen.
on. And then we got Treehouse saying, man, the Pacers suck ass. So
I mean, so I have a question. Do we think that maybe part of PG-13's freeze out in the second half are any of these lingering results for his comments after the past two games where he's been throwing his teammates under the bus?
No.
We kind of know
He
PG might
motivated
get
them.
it
They
out.
came out firing after that third game. I think he did the right thing for sure. Because to add to that, I've been reading a lot of that. He said that the locker room is a lot different. People aren't motivated naturally. So I think calling them out in the media was very useful, at least for the first half, because they came out on a different level. Yeah.
Us against the world, team us versus everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Paul George knew what the mission was tonight. There's a reason he played 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I think the reason that they imploded like that, well, one big reason was because they were up so high at the half.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're up that big, you're gonna have players who step up and want to get their shots because Paul George obviously had a bunch in the first half, and so they're gonna want to get theirs. And Lance Stevenson was the guy who did that tonight, and he failed miserably.
Yes.
Well said. Yeah.
Well, so, but like a game like this, when your team's on such a high and then it comes crashing down, especially with all the talk of the possibility of these Pacers need to get better to convince Paul George to stay.
Paul George's not staying
they did not
anyway. Let's
convince
keep it
him.
100.
When something like this happens, this is almost like a guarantee
Yeah.
that he's gone.
I think it's a guarantee already.
He's gone. He's coming to LA. And I think that that's part of his attitude and so forth and some of the things that are, rearing their head and things that are going through. There's not really, he is the veteran leadership on that team. They have nobody that's been there before, nobody that's helped them achieve. I think that his time with the Pacers is done. Would he like to go on? Do they really believe that they were going to beat the Cavs and move forward? Doesn't seem like it. No. So I feel like it's a foregone conclusion.
I just wish he wouldn't be so outspoken in the media about it, though. Do you know what I mean? I mean, coming out, talking about C.J. Miles after Game 1 and then Lance Stevenson in Game 2, he doesn't do that. That's not Paul George. That's not the Paul George I know, at least.
But I think he's trying to step up and learn how to be a leader and take command
it
of the team.
seems phony. I mean, we had this discussion on Tuesday. It
Yes, we did.
seems phony when you don't do it your whole career. Now, all of a sudden, the playoffs start. There's rumors of you leaving, and now you want to be a leader. Now you want to be that outspoken leader. Like I said before, you don't have to be an outspoken person to be a leader. You can lead quietly.
Indeed.
Kawhi does it. There's other people who do that. Now, all of a sudden, you want to start talking. I think it's making him look bad.
Well, Josh, also it's because we're not used to seeing him that way, and when people change, do something different, of course we're gonna have our opinion about it and say, oh, he's being phony, he's being different. Maybe he's making a genuine change.
I don't think
Fair
none of his criticisms have been wrong. I don't like.
I don't
he
agree.
should have the ball at the end of the game.
I don't agree with that though. If you're doubled and you get
Then
you
why
pass
are we getting on Lance Stevenson
Just
taking
listen.
shots
No,
in the second half?
I'm talking about a specific situation.
Okay,
Where
okay.
you give the ball up when you're double team, and you as an offensive player should recognize I have a 4-on-3 right now. Attack the basket, create. We have numbers. You're not going to give it back to a guy for a 30-something footer with 3 seconds left. I don't care who he is.
But
It's bad basketball.
Who would you like to have the ball at the end of the game? Paul George.
I was gonna say that.
Answer the
Yeah.
question.
No,
Paul George. Or CJ
obviously
Miles?
Paul George.
Okay, and I think that's the point.
No.
He's like, I want the ball in my hand. At the root of that argument, you can't criticize it. Yes, he was double teamed, but he got out of the double team. He wanted the ball back.
But I don't think he should have got the ball back in that situation.
I hear you, but I mean,
Well, we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, agree to
that's
disagree.
cool. That's cool.
But I guess my point is that none of the things he has said has been incorrect, and I disagree that it has hurt him. It's probably made him look better because he also backed it up on the court. And so, like, I don't know. The guys I blame outside of Lance Stevenson, I don't understand why Jeff Teague is not more impactful. And I don't understand why Miles Turner only ends up with 6 points.
Yep.
Those are the two guys that I'm like, okay,
Yep.
who's alleviating some of that pressure for
Yeah,
Paul
but
George?
Turner only 3 of 12 from the field
Yeah.
tonight, and that's a guy. I think Turner has the potential of being like a top big man in the NBA, but obviously he's still on the learning curve.
He should have a double every night.
He should.
Yeah.
I don't think that's high expectations. I think that's reasonable expectations for him.
Agreed.
One more thing on the Cavs before we move on. Well, really, maybe on LeBron. His teams have won 20 straight first-round games, tying the longest streak since playoff expansion in '83.
So game
your
4
guy.
potential, and he like surpassed all different people are in this game.
Right.
Like as far as 3-pointers made, points in general,
Getting
rebounds.
close to Magic in the triple-double playoff stats.
Well, he got his 17th. Magic has 30. So he's
getting
still
close.
a ways away from Magic.
He
for that
could
one.
knock that out this playoffs
playoffs?
finals if they make it that far.
Well,
which
he's
they will.
only about 300 points away for being the all-time playoff leader in points.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Oh, that's a big
He's about
stat.
like 300 away or so
He's
from
about to pass
Jordan.
Kobe. He passed Kobe today.
He passed Kobe
Yes.
tonight for third,
Yeah.
and he's only like
Teardrop,
about like 100
teardrop.
away from.
300, right?
I think it's on. I think he could get it this year.
He could.
Yeah.
So,
But speaking of the Cavs, real quick, I also just want to touch on the fact Kevin Love, Kyrie, we mentioned earlier, didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. Would we think that would, upset them in a way? Obviously, they made the big comeback for the big win, but it's just like, hey, well, we're also the guys here. Why are we not getting the chance?
Smart coaching. What's working? Let's
Well, no,
finish with that.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, do you think
They're
in
okay
their
with
mind, because, at the end, athletes, all the money they make and all the endorsements they have, it's just like, well, we should be in there right now.
I think that they understand how this system works right now with their input in LeBron. I think they feel needed and justified, and third straight finals. Do you know what I'm saying? These are guys that, if they were making it to the first playoffs, were first, second round playoff things. You never thought you'd see J.R. Smith with a ring. Kevin Love.
You're right.
Come on,
You're right.
did you?
You're right about
Did
that
you?
one. You're right.
Let's
You're
be
right.
realistic. When Amon Shumpert was in New York with the Knicks, 90s Knicks tape, did you think he was going to have a ring anytime soon?
Some Knicks fans did. I don't know why, but they did.
Okay.
That was a great rookie year. It was fun.
It was a great rookie year, but then.
Yeah.
So I just think that at the point where this team is at right now, they already went through with Kevin Love being kind of isolated out. They've gone through those type of battle-tested things. What they're looking for is getting to the finals, getting there intact so they can add to their jewelry collection. It's imperative for LeBron's legacy.
We got some people in the chat. Chat's actually popping today.
That's a good thing.
Elvin says Paul George doesn't want to be there anymore. Paul's calling out his teammates because he knows Bird won't tolerate it. Larry was always a quiet dude who led by example, never called anyone out. Tim Stewart says Cavs are not that good. And Treehouse says Lance got some weird fascination with trying to show off around LeBron.
He does.
That's true.
That's a good
That's
I think-
100% true.
Enjoying it here, baby.
All caps too. He said that, so he screamed it.
Ow.
I think Tim Stewart is still celebrating 420. One side note: Pacers have never been swept ever.
Really?
So, do you see them being swept this series?
Yes.
Yeah, this was
I mean, you give up
this
this
is the one to
game.
win.
Yeah.
This was a heartbreaker.
This
This
was the
is your.
one.
This is
If
the
they
one.
weren't motivated before, this type of ass kicking, can you say that?
Yeah, you can.
Is kind of gonna.
How dare you?
It's kind of gonna have an effect. So
Who do Cavs play after this?
They would
We
play
don't-
the winner of Washington.
They
No,
play
that's the
Washington.
second.
No,
The
no.
win of Toronto.
You're right. They were not the
No,
one seed.
yeah,
They
that's
were
right.
not the one seed.
We are
I'm
talking
thinking they were the
Eastern
one
Conference,
seed.
Okay.
Eastern Conference
Yeah.
Finals, Wizards,
play the
Cavs.
Bucks.
Second round, they play the winner of Bucks and Raptors,
So
Yeah.
if
which
they
we're going
wrap
to get
it
into
up-
right now.
If they wrap it up pretty quickly in 4 games, they got a little bit of rest.
That's gonna be big
Yeah.
for them.
Because
That's
Your
why-
highlight?
Yeah.
Well, it's he.
Oh, yeah, what we got
supposedly
here?
it's not working, but
Oh, okay.
All right.
well, Jimbo, we
We've been on this
see
one
it.
for a minute.
Oh,
Oh, there it goes.
I wonder if let me see if it's playing on the feed.
So
It's
it's
not
just
maximized. That's all.
Okay.
yeah. It's just LeBron being
Yeah.
LeBron late in this
Yeah,
game.
this was the start of the comeback basically when he hit the 2 threes at the end of the third quarter. But I'm not sure if it's playing or not. He said that it's not working.
Okay.
He
Okay.
messaged me.
what's up with that trap music soundtrack though?
That is a
Hey.
beat that I made.
Oh, you made that.
You
Josh
made that.
Rodriguez
Yeah. Little
original.
plug.
Putting
Respect.
himself
Respect.
I'm
how he
also a
set that
music
up?
producer.
See how he set that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think it's working.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks, Jimbo, for trying though. Jimbo in the booth. Shout out to Jimbo in the booth.
What up, Jimbo? and Bill?
Always.
Jimbo.
Hi.
So,
Hi. Him and I have this fun little thing whenever we do shows. We just pretty much say hi, and that's like the end of our conversation. Moving on to Bucks and Raptors in Milwaukee. We were talking about people showing up in the Cavs-Pacers game. Apparently, Lowry and DeRozan did not show up for this game. They stayed in Toronto,
If
apparently.
there's anything,
get stuck at
they
the
do
border?
consistently is not show up in the playoffs. It's just consistent. Like,
It's a Raptors
over and
legacy.
over and over, yeah.
I would like to point out that the 5 of us in this room combined made the same amount of baskets as DeMar DeRozan tonight.
Yeah.
Still got 8
True.
points. Yeah.
He was
All
0 for.
free throws.
Yeah, I know.
It was an offer.
It's an ugly stat
Compton
line.
was not in the house.
That is a ugly stat line.
No, he was in Compton. That's what it was.
That's what he was.
With Kendrick. Damn.
Maybe he also was celebrating 420. Wasn't able to focus on the game.
Maybe.
Never. Never. A professional athlete? Never.
0 for 8.
It's
Could never
pretty
happen.
0 for 8.
I mean, my whole thing with the Raptors, I think you guys know this by now. I just don't like them at all. I think they take terrible shots. They don't move the ball. They take a lot of mid-range jump shots off the dribble. I don't think that's a recipe for success in the playoffs or in general. You're relying on the lowest percentage shots you can take. Step back 20-footers, step back 18-footers. I don't like the way they play. I'm
I
just not
feel
a
as
fan.
though they have the talent. Do you think that there needs to be a
They have-
coaching change?
They have. That is
They
kind
have
of
the
coaching
talent.
philosophy, but I just think that's something that's inside of you. Like I'm a Knicks fan, right? I have to watch Melo go isolation. That's just something that's what he does. That's what DeRozan does. DeRozan's just step back, fadeaway, mid range. Kyle Lowry's off the dribble 3-pointer. You can't beat that out of somebody. You know what I mean? That's just how they
But
play.
you can put certain pieces in
You
place
can.
around them that
You
can counter that.
You would have to have a drastic system overhaul, like a D'Antoni system or something like that, to completely change. I'm not saying D'Antoni has to be the coach, but it just has to be something drastic. Maybe what
Yeah.
Steve Kerr did for Steph Curry and the Warriors. But I don't know. Sometimes you just can't change spots in the leopard. That's how I look at it sometimes.
Wow, very, very
Yeah.
insightful.
Very good
Yeah.
Thank you.
assessment.
From the music producer. well, on the Bucks side, we all know how great the Greek Freak is, but
Yes.
Middleton does not get talked about enough at
Yes.
all.
Yes.
And
I play Middleton a lot in daily fantasy.
Do you?
I do.
I made the mistake tonight on my DraftKings. I've done really well so far in the playoffs on DraftKings, and tonight not so much. But Middleton, who was the commentator for this? Was it Weber? Was Chris Webber doing the color commentary on this game tonight? I don't remember who was doing it on
It
NBA
could have
TV.
been NBA TV.
But he compared Middleton to a young Rip Hamilton, and I
that's
see
interesting.
that
Off the screen.
comparison
Yeah.
like perfectly as far as just like the style he plays, and also a guy who's just always under the radar, doesn't really get the recognition he deserves. I mean, he's definitely the second best player on this team right now.
Oh,
He's the
Yeah,
only
right
guy.
now. Jabari,
Okay, well,
Jabari's
I
hurt.
mean, well, Jabari's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's really stepping up for it. And then all of a sudden, when we look in the future, Thon Maker have another year in, a healthy Jabari Parker. These guys are going to be
Michael Brogdon.
legit.
Brogdon's good.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be, what, a second, third seed?
Absolutely. If they stay healthy
Wow,
next
really?
year,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
really could get up
Yeah.
there, and especially another year
Yeah.
with Giannis just improving.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
guy.
he can be a
Gotta
top
find
3
a
candidate for
jumper.
MVP next
If he
year.
finds a
for all we
jumper,
know.
he's unguardable. If he just finds a consistent jumper, that's why I like Middleton. He's the only guy that really stretches the floor for them. Because I think going to the second round, if they make it, like they don't have any shooters at all. So
good point.
Chris Middleton is very vital to their success.
It's a very good point.
They did shoot the lights out tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
they-
their
but-
and
Yeah,
their
they had a great
bench
game. They had a
shooters,
great
you're
game.
saying.
today.
and their bench produced also. Munroe off the bench with 16.
He's
Beasley
been playing. He's
Michael
been balling
Beasley.
this
Yes,
season.
he has.
Villanova with 10 off the
DC
bench
finals.
too.
Earning his money. One thing that I respect about the Bucks is that they did it kind of the old-fashioned way through the draft and through free agency, smart, under-the-radar moves, and then Jason Kidd's system. We have to give a lot of credit to Jason Kidd just because they had that young core. As soon as he came in, he made an impact, started working with the Greek Freak, and giving them confidence, sort of, opening up his little secrets and pearls. Like, I think we mentioned this on Tuesday, how Jason Kidd used to be Acing Kidd with no J. And so,
Back in the day.
he's, but then eventually he got a jumper. It became something he was known for. And I think that he's giving those pearls of wisdom to his young core there, and it's showing up on the floor. So.
I think Deanjilo hit a great point. They don't really have anyone to spread the floor. They don't have that knockdown shooter. Middleton can shoot, but he's more mid-range. He doesn't really do much else besides score the ball either. Same with Jabari. Jabari's more mid-range. If they can get a shooter on the outside, they're not going to get it this year, obviously. I think next year they can take that next step. Elvin in the chat says, people forget at the time Middleton was a max player, awesome shooter who fits that position. He will punish defenses. So Punish.
Milwaukee is up in the series 2-1 with the 104-77 victory tonight. Game 4 is in Milwaukee. Does Toronto even it up before they go back, or is Milwaukee going to put a stranglehold on this series?
They can. This game for me is more of Toronto not playing very well than Milwaukee blowing them away. I don't think one of them is going to have a better game than this. For them to come back.
I hope so.
They're bad, but not usually this bad.
I mean, I tweeted the Raptors, letting them know that I will play for them at a fraction of the cost of DeRozan to go 0 for 8
Starting
from the
five
field.
right here.
Yeah.
We got starting five right here.
Not me. Height
I
disadvantage.
come at a premium. I'm expensive.
But I bet you
There's
could
always
do
one.
Yeah.
There's always one.
I bet you could do better than Jabari Carroll. I wonder if that, signing from
Not a good
Atlanta.
signing.
Yep.
That has not worked out.
It hasn't worked out at all for the Raptors. He's been very disappointing.
And the Hawks miss him
1
too
for
because
4.
he fit that
They
team
do.
perfectly.
And
Yeah.
he only played 14 minutes tonight
I wonder why.
As a starter, yeah.
with all that
Get
money.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that
One
team.
rebound.
I just don't like the Raptors. I just don't like them. I actually posted something on my Twitter about them today before the game.
I see Bucks taking the next one. I don't think
Yeah.
DeRozan can come back from shooting like that in one game. I don't see it in him.
Oh, okay. We know Laurie can't because he's emotional.
What do you got against Lowry?
I don't have anything against him. I
Yeah.
just there are certain little ticks that he has as a player that
Yes.
I just kind of give him a hard time. I know that he said last year he became a little overwhelmed in the moment, had to settle down. There were discussions about that the first game of this series. So when players are like that, I am a Kobe fan. I'm an Allen Iverson fan. So I tend to lean towards players that have a little bit of that serial killer in them. That's all. So I can be sensitive too.
You can be. You can be.
I'm with you on Iverson.
I'm not quite sure how to react to that.
That's well said.
Sensitive.
Well, what do you think of the killing that Memphis put on the Spurs tonight?
Let's go Memphis.
What was the final score?
Data that.
105-94 was the final, but
Data that.
that's closer than it actually really was.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Thanks to really Zebo, Zach Randolph
Finally.
getting the start
Back in the
tonight.
starting five.
Back in the starting 5, 21 points, 8 boards tonight. Where's he been?
On the bench.
I mean, Zach Randolph is an older player. He's
Yeah.
been in the league around. He's been battle tested. So you got to think he has no lift. You know what I mean? He battles around in the paint. He'll roam the paint. He's not the same player. So it might have been a thing of, can Zach handle it? Is he going to stand up? How does he go? Down in there. But he showed up tonight because where has he been in a couple of the earlier games?
But I think this is on Fizdale. I think once Tony Allen's out, you have to put in Zach Randolph. So Tony Allen's your best defender, right? Well,
Yeah.
you're not going to gain anything by inserting someone else in the lineup on defense. You might as well go offense and put Zach Randolph in there.
and you need the hard-nosed kind of guys.
You need the hard-nosed kind of guy. And the Grizzlies had success with Randolph as a starter. This is a
Absolutely.
new thing with him coming off the bench. So I think he should have done it from the beginning. Obviously, it paid dividends today, but it might be a little too late.
But now, do we also think, with the press conference that Diziel had after the last game, where he's fined the $30,000, talking about the officiating with the free throws and everything. All of a sudden, we go tonight. Kawhi Leonard only went to the free throw line 4 times. Like, do we think things like that have an effect at least on the following game? Like, do referees think that? Like, it was like, oh well, now they call us out, so we. Probably. I mean, we got obviously be
they
fair,
hear.
but
Referees are human.
Definitely, yeah, they hear.
They don't want to. They don't want those kind of skewed statistics on the record again for a second game.
right.
I think.
But that would take away from Memphis played a great game. I don't think that's like a fair. Yeah, he only got to the free throw line 4 times, but he only put up 11 shots. He was a little bit more conservative in general.
even old dogs have their day.
Right. I think Memphis just showed up. We saw it with all the teams. Game 3 for that lower seed game 3, the first game at home, they're going to play inspired basketball, and he put all
In
the
Indiana's
veterans.
case, for the first half.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Right, well,
some would
yeah.
last for a half, some would last for a game.
Yeah.
So he put the veterans in. They stepped up. I mean, Memphis is not. They play San Antonio every year, so they're not scared of him.
Right.
They're just not as good. That's all.
Is this Memphis's one victory in the series?
Yes.
Likely,
Probably.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they had Tony, I
If
think
they
they'd
had
go
Tony,
6.
then it's actually a series.
6, yeah.
And they were talking about how both Randolph and Allen are free agents after the season. So I mean, is this team going to kind of
Yes.
dissolve?
No more grindhouse.
Yes.
Yes. This team's done.
It lasted a lot longer than I thought it would.
Yeah,
It did, you know.
I think about 2 or 3 years ago when they made the Western Conference Finals, got swept by the Spurs.
That was the peak.
That was their
Because isn't that when after that season they did a coaching change again, had new GMs come in?
Yeah.
I feel like that was when, and it seemed sort of odd after them having so much success that they went through with sweeping changes in the offseason, and
Yeah. I kind of want to point out LaMarcus Aldridge has kind of been kind of quiet. I know this has nothing to do with
always he was in Portland.
But-
Give me the ball,
I
but
think he
never
was good
show
in
up in
Portland.
big moments. He was good in Portland, but I think part of the problem was that he couldn't take Damian Lillard's budding stardom, and they had problems there on who should get the ball. He felt like that he should come first in the offense. He had
Yeah.
problems when he first got in with the Spurs.
Yeah.
I think that it's a mental thing with him. All the talent in the world, but there's some type of disconnect, maybe the competitive athlete thing that you mentioned earlier that just doesn't seem to transfer over.
I think
I was
Portland
just
could use them now.
I feel like Aldridge did something to anger you or something just now. I was like,
Why?
She's mad at everybody.
Personal vendetta on
on
Aldridge.
the list, and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Damn.
It's a very distinctive
No,
list.
just blame. Like my voice is gone, so I just sound a little more intense than normally would. I'm just spitting hot fire. I gotta hold it down
Hot
for the
fire.
ladies.
Got that
That's all. I'm
raspiness.
just in here,
That's true.
holding it down.
Is this Spurs team the only team that you could realistically see defeating the Warriors?
Well,
Is it the only
In the
team?
West or in general?
No, in the West. In the West. To get out, yeah. If another team
the
comes
way
out of
the way Houston's been playing.
Houston could give them a run.
No,
Houston
Houston,
could give them a
no,
run.
no.
I just
It's not
think
happening.
Houston would have to beat the Warriors at their own game, and I don't think they can.
I don't think that they can, but I think
I mean,
that
the
they
final
can
score
make
is
it.
gonna be like 150 to 159.
It will be fun to
No,
watch.
Warriors,
Yeah.
Warriors
will,
play
they will.
defense. Let's not act like Warriors don't play defense.
Yeah, they do play defense.
Some of them do.
Sometimes.
And the Rockets
when they
defense
have
is
to.
not that bad. I know it's a D'Antoni coach team, but if you look at the stats, it's not great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
Shout out Patrick
I'm
Beverley.
not saying they're a good defensive team,
Mike
but they're not a
D'Antoni has
terrible.
never tried to coach defense. James Harden is notoriously bad.
Shout out
defender.
Trevor Ariza. He's a
Patrick Beverly though, he does.
Patrick Beverly gets in your face and
Beverly's a
irritant.
beast. Well, let's talk about, because we had to talk about a couple of the games from last night too. So let's talk about the Rockets Thunder game from last night also. Rockets won that game with a great comeback as well, 115 to 111, take the 2-0 series
That hurt my
lead
feelings.
in that.
It did.
Russell.
It did. It hurt my feelings.
Y'all lucky the video thing's not working because I had a
Oh,
whole thing
yeah.
ready.
All right. So yeah, I mean Russell Westbrook, insane stats.
You see this?
Did you put Hero under?
You guys can't see it.
Hero ball.
It's a video package of Russell Wilson playing Hero
Russell
Ball.
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Damn it! Russell Westbrook playing Hero Ball.
Well,
Missing shots in the
Because he's a hero. Not all heroes wear capes.
Randy.
Not all heroes wear capes.
But that's what got him there.
51 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists, but took 43 shots and only made
Yeah.
17 of them.
I wonder why KD left.
Listen. Okay, listen.
Why did KD leave?
KD left because Russell
really?
didn't want to go after games to smoke hookah and stuff. KD
I know. That's for real though.
No,
That's for real.
Say it again.
KD wanted a homeboy.
KD
And Russell
wanted a
had, I'm going home with my
homeboy.
wife.
Russell would go and hang out with his people, his folks. He's a different type of guy. Katie likes
Russell
to go
is a
smoke
selfish
hookah
basketball
with his.
player. I love him, but he is selfish.
Let me
And
turn
we saw
around
it.
and face
He's
you,
also the
D'Angelo.
MVP. What?
Let me
He
turn
is.
around.
He's selfish.
Can we point out that 33 of the games where Russell Westbrook scored a triple-double this season, they were winning games by the Thunder. So you can't just say that he's a selfish player if the team is winning when he does these so-called selfish acts.
Russell Westbrook is trying. We know he's
Who's he
trying
going to throw
to
the
get
ball
that.
to?
Huh?
Who's he going to throw the ball
I'm
to?
not saying-
Victor Oladipo, Steven Adams down low, Enes Kanter can score, Doug McDermott from three, Taj Gibson can score. Let's stop. Let's stop. Me and Josh have had this out on Sports Week before. Listen, let's not pretend that Russell Westbrook does not have people. He does have it squad. It may not be that good. I will give you that. It's not a great support. It's not as good as Houston. But let's not pretend he has nobody. He
And let's
has
not
players.
act like he does not share the ball. There was a
Are you
point
telling me
this-
he's not a selfish basketball? That's my only question.
I believe he has the eye of the
To
tiger.
get a
and the
triple
thing.
double, you have to have assists.
You have to have assists. Exactly.
No. Y'all know basketball. Look,
Wait.
you can work to get assists because you're looking to do it, or you're doing it in the rhythm of the game. There's a difference between what Rajon Rondo does and what Russell Westbrook does.
Which one
They
is Russell
win.
Westbrook doing?
33.
He's looking, and it's working.
That makes a good point guard. He's looking to give assists.
No,
Oh,
he's
come on,
not.
guys.
The way he creates is completely different. He drives
on,
to the basket, and
guys.
if he can't get anything, then he kicks it out. There's a difference between another point guard who will purposely
Why
drive
wouldn't
to
you do that?
John
Why
Wall.
wouldn't you do that?
John Wall's a better
You can't
example.
get anything.
Yes.
Of course you're going to dish it out.
The biggest thing with all of it is Russell Westbrook. They do have some players that can score, but Westbrook doesn't have confidence in them to score when it matters.
Justified so, but yeah.
I mean,
And
can we talk about
that was
yes.
proved.
But
Therein
he's
lies
not-
the
he's
point.
doing-
Come on, guys.
He's
just
doing-
a selfish.
I mean,
it's
I
not,
feel
it's
like
part
he's
of his
working
DNA. But Kobe's a selfish basketball player. I'm
But,
not
like,
saying it like it's a
he
bad
has,
thing.
He has to give.
Jordan
He has to give
was
the
a
guys
selfish
chances in
basketball
the important
player.
games. He does have to give Oladipo a chance. He has to give. Jeremy Grant is a solid player. He has to give him the chance to do so, though. He only took 4 shots in that game. I mean, there are guys that can score points. They're not all-stars by any means.
Right.
But they're solid role players. And the big difference with Houston is they have players that Harden is willing to let score those points. Like Eric Gordon, like Lou Williams, like Ryan Anderson, like Beverly, like Nene, who's been, honestly, I think, very impressive in the first 2 games of this series.
But give credit also to Harden being slotted over to point guard, and it happened because last season there wasn't that much fluid ball movement.
Right. Credit
with the
D'Antoni.
Rockets.
That's D'Antoni.
And credit D'Antoni. So there's a coaching makes a difference too, and
Right.
there's also a willingness if you feel like you're in the flow with the players. I want to also point out that earlier this season there was a point when Westbrook had more rebounds than all the big men on the Thunder. So just think about things like that.
But what I'm saying, first of all, the Thunder, I think, aren't they one of the best rebounding teams in the league?
They are the
Yes.
best.
Okay,
rebounding
so
team in the league,
they
yeah.
are the best. So that means that other people are rebounding besides Westbrook.
I didn't say they
now
are.
there's a difference between a person driving to the hoop looking to score and passing it out and getting an assist than a point guard purposely moving towards a defender to create space, to kick it out, to draw. To just create a play for another person. It does something different for your teammates. It puts confidence in your teammates. It gets them going. It gets them in rhythm. It's a completely different mindset, and Russell Westbrook does not have that mindset. So the
Agreed.
fact that he
Well
makes people
articulated.
better, I can't subscribe to that because I don't think he does. Those type of point guards don't make people better.
Oh, I wouldn't necessarily.
He
say
might
that
he might make his team better because he's so talented. I'll give you that. They're not in the playoffs without him, but at the same time, what are we talking
And-
Do
about?
you think Allen
that's why-
Iverson made his teammates better? Just a question when he was playing the point guard position. Did AI make his teammates better?
I think he's a very strong comparison to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
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 But
I think he's a little less erratic than Westbrook.
But I mean, and that is why I do feel that Westbrook should win the MVP, because if you take Westbrook and Harden off of the teams, Rockets still make the playoffs.
No.
Of course, they're not
disagree
nearly
with
as
that.
good.
They're better
No,
than
no,
the
no.
Ro-
They're not
than the
nearly
Thunder.
as good.
They're better
But
than the
they're a
Thunder.
lot better than the Thunder. The Thunder would be battling for the #1 pick in the draft if Westbrook wasn't there.
Agreed.
And with the loss of
essentially the
KD.
Orlando Magic.
but replace
Yeah,
Russell Westbrook.
They're essentially
It's
holding as
essentially
you talking about my Orlando Magic
Victor
that I'm wearing the
Oladipo.
shirt
Rockets,
over here.
but the
Is
Rockets
that
are
what you're talking
not.
about?
But the Rockets aren't making the playoffs either. Let's not
they
pretend
are.
the Rockets.
I mean, that's their MVPs. They
Of course.
Yeah, they're both of those teams. I don't think are
They're
making
not-
it
they're
in
not-
the West.
The
Yeah.
Blazers are the 8th seed right
Yeah.
now. The Rockets without James Harden are not better than the Blazers.
Yeah.
They're not better than the Nuggets, who were the ninth. They're
agree.
not.
I agree with that.
They're not, and they finished like 8 games
But
above the Thunder. So.
Russell wins because of what the triple double. I mean that in itself
That
is
makes
like
a good case.
incredible. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I think the Thunder would be worse without Westbrook as opposed to, like you're saying, Harden. If he wasn't on the Rockets, that team would still be a little bit better. Like,
Right.
I do think that Russell Westbrook should win MVP.
Well, let's move on to the other Western Conference game from last night with the Warriors and Blazers. Warriors win 110-81. Take the 2-0
Put your
lead.
foot
Sans
on their
Durant.
neck.
Can I just say-
Minus Durant.
Sans
Yes.
Durant.
Can I just say that on Sunday we have people who just would not say that the Blazers would get swept by the Warriors. Josh, you were one of them. Can you explain to me why the Blazers are going to win a game in this series.
I think they're still going to win a game.
They're,
I do.
They're outmatched, man.
They are outmatched. They're going to win
nice.
one.
Look,
They're going to win
81.
They're going to win game 4. They're going to win game 4.
Why? Why are they going to win game 4?
Pride.
Explain.
Pride, and then Golden State will win by like 80 in game 5.
You can have all the pride you want, but if you can't, you're not good enough.
If you have no one down low.
Yeah.
I think
They
their
can
best
shoot as many times as they
opportunity
want.
to win was game 1. I think CJ and Dame gave all that they had.
Yeah.
What was it, 74 points combined that they had?
Yeah,
something
75, I think, but
something
like that.
ridiculous like that. I think that was about the highlight. And
Well, they're not the same team. They made that trade with Denver.
they're definitely missing Nurk.
Shit. Yeah.
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 And you
That's
know,
big. Yeah.
Yusef, I go by his first name. We're on a first name basis, but
Ow.
I mean, it was who was it, the guy that you know, like you're talking about, or you're on a first name basis with this guy. Like you're buddy with lots of players apparently.
I guess I
Rubbing
am.
elbows, man.
Apparently, but yeah, I mean, they made the trade for Yusef, and they turned their season around. But he's hurt now.
Yeah.
And I got into a discussion with someone in the comment section, by the way, about the Blazers because he was pretty upset that I didn't mention it last time. But you know, they're not that team without him. So without him, they're below 500 team. They're probably gonna get swept. I think you're right, Deanjilo.
It's not a controversial statement.
It's never Lillard. Lillard time is always short. It should be like Lillard second.
Should Durant come back at all in this series?
No.
No, right now, no.
Chill.
They could bench Steph if they want.
I wouldn't go that far.
Let Steph do his little
Clay and Draymond
shenanigans.
probably win it. So no.
Well, and let's go to the final game that happened yesterday. Deanjilo would like to talk about this
Can I-
one.
Oh, yeah.
With the Wizards, victorious 109-101 over the Hawks. They take a 2-0 series lead in that one.
This is
low-key, this is
sweet
surprising me.
redemption.
This is
Why?
surprising
Can you
me.
explain to me?
And
why?
Compton was in the house. Shout out Brandon Jennings.
Atlanta finished the season pretty well, if I recall correctly. They,
Yeah, well,
On a high
this is the
note.
4-5. They were 43
Yeah,
and
4-5.
39 for the
two
regular
big wins
season
against
record.
Cleveland, and I thought Atlanta was going to roll.
Can I just put something out there? And it's the same way that I felt about the Falcons during the season. I think it must be Atlanta teams. Atlanta teams always let you down when it comes down to it.
No,
Whenever
Dwight
they
Howard
get
lets
there-
you down. 6
Accurate.
points. Only played 20 minutes. Only
he
took
got
5
bullied.
shots.
Yeah, he looked like a little boy out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Always.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just the Atlanta Hawks taking away my subjectiveness towards this. The Atlanta Hawks are a very average team,
Yeah.
and the best 2 players on the court, objectively speaking, is John Wall and Bradley Beal. There's no reason for the Wizards to lose this series. I didn't think they were gonna sweep them, but I mean, it is very fun for me to watch because we don't have this type of success very often.
John Wall was on his Insta stories today, out by the pool, enjoying the sun.
Living life.
Living
Really?
life,
Living
jumping
lavish.
off the thing. So
We are-
he seems cool.
We're 10 and
Having an
1
off day.
with John Wall and Bradley Beal. We're 10 and 1 in first round series. So that's another stat for you.
Well,
And Wizards had that season series 3-1.
Yeah. So
To go back to Dwight Howard, come on, 6 points. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Are
well,
you
here's-
surprised?
Here's
I'm
where my
really
Orlando
upset.
Magic.
He's
come
a
back
Magic.
in
Josh.
conversation.
the backup.
Josh,
I
go
know what you're about to say.
But here's where the Orlando Magic come back into conversation because when Dwight Howard was at his peak, which now was several years ago,
Yes.
Who was his backup?
his backup was a man named Marcin Gortat,
Where is he now?
who is now the starting center for the Washington Wizards, and to me is the most underrated big man in the NBA.
You know, I agree with
Tonight
you.
he went,
I do.
last night he went,
Surprising.
He went 7 of 10 from the field, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists,
What did
5
Dwight have?
blocks.
Yes.
What did Dwight have?
6 points again?
Dwight
6 and
6
7.
points, 7 boards.
5 shots again. This is what drives me
60%.
crazy. We talked about it on our other show. Why are you taking only 5 shots?
But again, the thing was, like, obviously Howard should know that Gortat knows him because they were on the same team for a few years. You got to alter your game a little bit. I guess his way of altering the game is sitting on the bench
Dwight
because
Howard
that's what they
doesn't have
did.
a game.
Yeah, he
was
played 20 minutes
He was
today.
athletically blessed. I mean, I don't want to discount completely everything. He's never developed a post game. He was a freakish athlete, and it peaked out. I think that's
and
it.
let's also consider that back surgery is really serious, and I feel like he's never been the same from recovering from that back surgery and whatever mental number he endured when he was with the Lakers. Kool-Aid in his heart. Anyway,
But he's
Yeah.
got. No, never mind.
Oh, we say.
say it.
It's off the subject. He's got a lot of mouths to feed. Maybe that's stressing him out.
All right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
We'll save that for the other part.
Washington just has too much firepower, especially from their starting lineup. I mean, everyone in their lineup can score.
and they had
Everybody.
bench help.
In different ways. John Wall has evolved into probably the best point guard in the
In the
East.
East.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about when in December I mentioned that John Wall, I mean, obviously he really isn't, but should have been kind of in our ones to watch, our MVP candidate. I said to watch John
he's
Wall
top
this
5
season
MVP candidate.
in December. Just want to remind everyone of that.
No, and listen, I was a very big critic of him early in his career, but I can't hate on him anymore. I mean, 32-9, 4 turnovers, not that bad, but I mean, the ball moves so nicely in this offense. Otto Porter, like, they're so well put together.
This is the example of an unselfish point guard. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, in their DNA, there's a difference between John Wall and Russell Westbrook.
Hey, pay that man because he's also underpaid.
For Dwight Howard only been taking 5 shots, does he have to be more assertive, or is
absolutely.
a game plan
Yes,
change
and the
with
game
the
both.
coach?
Both. Even Schroeder has to drive to the hole and dish it off. Alley-oop to Dwight Howard. That's on your point guard as well. You have to create for him. There's just different ways
Well,
to
he
get
did have
involved.
23. Schroeder had 23.
No, but I'm-
6 assists.
No,
So
no,
he did
he
solid.
played well, but at the same time, I think it's the job of a point guard to get everybody involved. If you see your big man's only getting 5 shots a game and
gotta
whatnot,
feed
and
him.
you know Alvin in the chat just said he's top 3 center in the NBA talent-wise, at least. Do you know what I mean? And if you know you
Howard?
have that,
Yeah,
Yeah,
talent-wise.
2008.
Not
He
even
still,
him,
he
not
still,
even.
he still can be.
No.
If you
If
show
you use
flashes,
But
If
there's
you
a
use
reason
him, I
Dwight
think he can
Howard,
score.
There's a reason Dwight Howard only gets 5 shots attempts. He has no post-up game, which means the only way he can score is the same way DeAndre Jordan scores. Alley-oops, rebounds, stuff like that. Yeah, that didn't happen because he's lost his athleticism.
Can't play with his back to the
If he
basket
doesn't have a
anymore.
post-up game, he's not going to get more than 5 shots. It's ugly when he posts
yeah.
up.
Treehouse in the chat says he still can't shoot a freaking free throw. That's why he sits in the 4th. Can't be a superstar right in the
Is
best
Washington a scary team in the East in Cleveland right now?
No.
Scarier, you said?
Yes.
No.
No, I wouldn't say they're scarier, but they're after Cleveland, they're the most scary.
Scary.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes,
We want to see them in the Eastern Conference
That's
Finals.
going to be a great
that
Eastern
matchup.
Conference final. And they had a game in Washington earlier this year, which
Yeah, it was
was
a fun one.
insane.
Right, one of the best games of the year,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
That was fun. Thanks, guys.
Well, the fun's not over because apparently we still have a few minutes left for some news and gossip. If
Oh.
Jill's got any
You got some news and
juice
gossip, Jill?
to
So-
deliver.
Okay. Oh, we got a little.
All right. Well, so we're going to, venture around outside of the playoffs a little bit. I know that we've, you guys have probably heard about Melo and his little situation. He and his wife, Lala, are
Phil
separated.
Jackson.
Is that what that is?
Oh, yeah, Phil Jackson
that's what I
too,
thought you meant.
that all added to the stress.
right.
Carmelo allegedly has a child on the way with a woman that he met in Chicago. She's a grad student, and it has caused separation. Lala was out.
Well, she's smart.
Yes, she's very smart,
love
and
those
she
smart
had a
girls.
plan. She did. So, good luck with Melo. Maybe this will drive him to finally leave New York, since part of the reason why he went there was Lala's career. Get out, Carmelo. Stop being in. It's not that sunken place, but you're in a sunken place.
Melo to the Bulls.
Melo to the Clippers, maybe that. I don't know. Maybe that can work out
Melo
because
to
the
the
Clippers
Cavs.
are going to need to do so. The Cavs don't need Melo. Please don't do that.
Melo's got to go. Melo's got to
I
go to a
would not
small
be shocked.
market.
Melo to the
Melo's
bench.
got to go to a smaller market and just be like, welcome to like the real world. Like throw Melo in Milwaukee and see
As
what
a
happens.
six-man.
here's
As a
the
six-man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Melo's not coming off the bench.
He,
He should sit down.
Melo needs to go a place like Boston or
No,
Come to
not
DC.
Boston.
We'll take you. Come
Boston needs to
over.
score. They need someone better than Isaiah. They need a number 1.
But he needs to change his game. He's not.
Oh, he's not.
The
He's
player
not
he
gonna
thinks
change
he
his
is.
game.
He's not.
He's
Please
not
leave New
changing
York,
his game.
please.
No, but he needs to come out of New York. Also, there are rumors that there could possibly be a Clippers statue in the future at Staples Center.
Danny Manning.
Danny Manning.
I don't know who else it could possibly be other than Danny Manning.
CP3
Ed
said
O'Bannon?
that
Pooh
he
Richardson?
would be
Ed O'Bannon?
honored.
I mean, who else could it
Hey,
be?
Lamar Odom.
shout out to Pooh Richardson, UCLA.
Did you just say Lamar Odom?
Darius Miles.
Okay, no. But let me tell you, I am objecting to a Chris Paul
Oh, it's good. It's supposed to be Chris Paul?
It would be Chris Paul, possibly.
Why are you objecting?
Why?
Why am I objecting? Because as great of a point guard as Chris Paul is, as great of a leader as I think he is, the Clippers have not achieved while he has been there.
He's
They
still-
have
what is
actually
the Clippers'
been
expectations they
epic letdowns, and I know that there could possibly be a Clipper curse. I know that injuries play a great deal into a lot of things that have happened in the playoffs, but they have still happened. If you want to ask me who I think the statues, plural, should be, I think it should be from the 2000 to I think the 2003, 2004 era Clippers.
Elton
that changed
Brand?
the culture. No, I think it should be Darius Miles and
That's what I said.
So they
Darius
changed
Miles.
the culture. They made games
So you
fun.
telling
People
me- so you
came out to
telling me
see their development.
Shaq Kobe, Magic Johnson.
No.
Darius Miles.
Yeah, that's
Guys,
right.
we got to make sure he can get the day off from Target to go for the ceremony.
Come on,
No,
Jill.
Actually, what
Jill,
I'm
this
saying
is-
is, I don't think that there
you-
is a Clipper that there should be a statue for.
No, you
at
know who the
this
closest
time.
one is? If they had to give one, you give it to Paul Pierce because he's the only Clipper who's had any success,
Fair.
just not there.
Or you could give it to Brent Berry, winner of the dunk contest.
Come
with
on,
his
Jill,
yellow
stop
jacket
it,
on.
Jill,
These
stop.
are all jokes.
Jill,
No,
Chris
what
Paul
is
is,
that?
Chris Paul is the best player in Clippers franchise history. Period. You've had more success under Chris Paul under any player in Clippers history. Period. You've got past the
Lamar
first.
Odom?
And that's not even really
Lamar
success.
Odom?
Yes, you
That's
got
not really
you've
success.
won.
No,
You've won.
with
You-
the Clippers stat, but I still don't believe that he deserves a statue at
if
Staples
any
Center.
Clipper
No
deserves a
never made
statue,
a-
it's Chris Paul.
He's never made a
Period.
Western Conference final.
It doesn't.
No one should get a statue if you have not contributed
I
to
can
putting a
understand.
banner up in
Thank
that,
you. I can
up in
understand.
that scaffolding.
And I can-
no one.
Not
And Josh,
even
you
a
put a
West-
banner up, you get a statue.
Josh,
maybe.
Not
understand
even
that,
a
but-
Western Conference Finals.
And-
What is the Clippers' legacy?
Hold
Lob
on.
City.
Hold on. If anything,
And I'm a Clippers fan, mind you.
Blake Griffin would be over Chris Paul because he at least brought a lot more mainstream media to the Clippers with all his endorsements.
You take that
Here,
for data.
Late. No, I have a suggestion.
He doesn't deserve it by any means.
No, neither one of them.
The actual Clippers statue should probably be Jordan Brand because that helped them take over the city with Blake and CP3.
They
so,
need to put Donald
you know.
Stern.
Donald Sterling.
No,
Go ahead, go ahead.
David Stern. Excuse me. Whoa. Because of the video and the trade. Forgetting
Oh,
Chris
yeah,
Paul.
they-
If
that's right,
anybody
that's
deserves
right.
a reward,
He's
David
the MVP. He's the
Stearns
real
is
MVP.
the MVP.
Josh,
He
what
should
you
be
said, I agree with. That no one, you have to at least make the Western Conference Finals. But
Or-
if,
or, yeah, put a
but-
banner up.
But there should be no statue then. That's my point. Not Darius
But
Miles
I said,
and
I
Q-Tip.
said that. I said there should be no statue. But if we're gonna give a statue, then give it for the culture and the change of the way that at that period of time, the way that people looked at the Clippers. It was the Clippers and the Lakers. That was during the Lakers three-peat run. But the Clippers had a different type of energy in the building. Their fans were very blue collar,
it was-
and
Yeah,
it
but
was
it
like a
wasn't
party.
that
Are you serious?
impactful.
I can't-
Anyway.
I-
Look,
it
all
wasn't
we
that
know is
impactful.
let's just set up the date for the Michael Olowokandi statue.
There you go.
I
Number
can't-
one pick.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but people will try to agree with you. Elvin says Darius Miles and Q Rich, pound to the head would be insane. He said I said it first.
It's still 420.
Tino
It's still
Mobley,
420.
Treehouse
names out
says
there.
just handing out statues all
You get a statue.
willy
You get a
nilly.
statue.
And Black Jones, what up, Corey Maggette?
Corey Maggette used to be my
That whole
neighbor.
team then.
What about
We're talking
naming role players, right?
Corey Maggette was
We are
my
losing
neighbor.
credibility
Sorry.
instantly right now.
happening right
We are losing credibility. As a
Hey,
great,
Oh,
they were all
God.
in Van Wilder. That
Oh,
deserves
were
a
they?
statue,
Yes,
right?
they were
Corey Maggette,
actually. That's
Darius
true.
Miles.
That is true.
Chris Kaman, Black
Chris
Jones.
Kaman.
No.
Hey, Chris Kaman
No.
was good for the Clippers. Though.
No,
All right, we
he
just
was
went through.
not.
We just went through
That's a
every
lie.
relevant player in Clippers
Yeah.
history. Maybe Sam Cassell we forgot because he was
Yeah.
working for
Don't forget about
Coutinho
Coutinho.
Mobley was.
Coutinho
Okay, we're
Mobley.
done. We're done. We're done
It's
talking
a
about
wrap.
the Clippers.
So that's it for news and gossip.
Good set.
Right.
I like
All
that.
right, well, we're
Let's
gonna,
look
go ahead.
forward to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna wrap it up, but if you got something,
Yeah, let's
to
look
say.
forward to tomorrow's games. Who do we have tomorrow?
Who do we have tomorrow? That's
Yeah.
a great
Who do we
question.
have
Tomorrow we
tomorrow?
got Boston Chicago game 3,
Oh.
Houston OKC game 3, and Clippers Jazz game 3.
Quick predictions or no?
Preview.
Yeah, let's do some
Yeah,
quick
so
predictions.
this is
Let's do some
quick
quick
Boston,
predictions.
Chicago.
AfterBuzz TV.
It's now Bulls are up 2-0. They're in Chicago. I think Bulls are gonna win game 3.
TNT Bulls.
Father
They're
Prime.
undefeated. 21 in a row, right?
Yes.
TNT Bulls. Y'all not hip to
Since
that?
for 3 seasons.
Oh, but
yeah.
it's on ESPN, not TNT.
Oh, it is. Oh, they lost. That's it. Sorry.
All 3 games tomorrow on ESPN and
Oh, you're
ESPN
right.
2.
Yeah.
So I'm saying
Clippers on
Bulls. What are you
ESPN
guys saying?
Celtics.
I'm saying Celtics. Those first two. No, they're not gonna get swept.
Right, okay.
They're
They gotta win,
definitely not gonna get swept. These guys, the first number 1 team in the East, they're gonna win a game or 2.
I expect the Celtics to take one of these. I don't know if it'll be game 3 or game 4, but the Celtics definitely will take one of those games.
Well, what are you picking for game 3 then?
I don't know which one it is.
I'll pick one.
That's why I
You gotta
said 3.
pick one.
One of the games. I think that they will split the series in Chicago, but I don't know
want
which.
Celtics.
Celtics win tomorrow. Winner of Game 4 wins the series.
Ow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thunder and Houston. Houston's got a stranglehold on 2-0. They're in OKC. I think this is the one game Thunder win.
I think so too.
Oh man,
They're
this
not
is the
getting
one game
swept.
they have to win.
Yeah.
That's also true.
If they don't win this, it's done.
Agreed.
I mean, we live in hope. I would like to see the Thunder win at least one, so the the first MVP won't be getting swept. That would be kind
I
of
still got the
sad.
Thunder winning at 7. I stand by that.
Oh.
So
Thunder in 7.
I still do. I still have it.
I have the Thunder winning tomorrow as well.
All right. And finally, Jazz Clippers. Series is tied. We're
that's
in
our show.
Utah. I'm saying Utah wins Game 3.
I don't expect the Clippers to clip. I expect the Clippers to win Game 3.
Clippers gonna clip though.
Clippers gonna clip.
Listen.
No Rudy Gobert is gonna hurt them. I think.
Right.
Clippers
that's a
win this
factor.
one. Yeah.
Josh? Or Josh is. We have to get him
Other
promoted.
Josh.
Yeah.
Third Josh.
I'll go Clippers. I want Utah to win, but I'll go Clippers.
I'm going Clippers too. I just think Gobert being out is too much. Utah's a very tough place to play. They have one of the best home court advantages in the league. But without Gobert, I think Doc Rivers is gonna, get Blake the ball inside, DeAndre alley-oops. I just think that it's too much. It's too much. And Chris Paul's the best player in the series. Gordon Hayward's been kind of quiet. He needs to step in. I think he'll have a good game, but I think the Clippers win.
And Joe Johnson's shot was luck. Anyway.
All right, well, those are our predictions. We want to hear what you guys think on how the playoffs are going, and if you're going to buy a ticket for that wonderful Austin Rivers statue ceremony.
Hey, we forgot that name.
So,
With Doc Rivers.
so leave comments on the YouTube page and the iTunes, and of course, follow us on various forms of social media. Deanjilo, how can people reach out to you?
Oh, hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. I'm Deanjilo, DeanJilo, at Deanjilo TV on Twitter. Where can they find you?
I'm Jill Munroe. Find me everywhere at Stiletto Jill.
I'm Joshua Johnson. Find me all over social media at JJ the Talented. Basketball never sleeps.
I am Josh Rodriguez. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_. Don't forget, we're here Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays reviewing playoff games. Follow all of us. We all like to talk basketball. AfterBuzz Sports, baby. Coming at you.
And follow me on Twitter, because I finally actually set up a Twitter under my
Yeah.
Josh Tariff name. Spell Tariff like the tax. I feel young again by setting this up. Later, I'll set up a MySpace. And for all your other AfterBuzz TV news and gossip, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. For Deanjilo Platt, Jill Munroe, Josh Johnson, and Josh Rodriguez, I'm Josh Tariff. We'll see you later.
Deuces.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only.
Unnecessary roughness.
TV or its owners or principals.